Hi, Teri here from Stamping Magic. Welcome back to my channel. Today's project is another fancy fold card, and this one is a double gatefold. I've used the Art Gallery stamp set together with the coordinating floral gallery dies. And I've also used papers from the Pattern Party Designer Series paper pack. Now this paper pack is one of our hostess rewards. You get 48 sheets of 12 by 12 paper for a very special price, and you'll find the details towards the back of the annual catalogue. Let's get started. These are all the measurements you need for all the elements required to create this project. So if you're interested in reproducing it, take a screenshot so you can refer to it later. I'm using half a sheet of the Pattern Party Designer Series paper, so it measures 12 inches by 6 inches. Now I've placed it into my Simply scoreboard with the longest side across the top, and I'm going to score down at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches and 10 inches. I'm going to make a pencil mark on both of the side edges at the halfway point, so that's at 3 inches on each side. Now I'm also just going to mark on the inner score lines, so the two towards the centre, just place a pencil mark at the top of the score lines. This will make it easier to see the score line when I cut. I like to use a guillotine when I do the cuts because you get a much cleaner cut, but you can use your trimmer. Now I'm going to align both the pencil marks on one side, so that's the mark at the top of the score line and the mark halfway down the side. I'll align those with the blade on my guillotine and then cut. And then I'll turn the paper around to the other side, again aligning the two pencil marks, so one at the top of the score line and the other at the halfway point on the side, aligning them with the blade and then cut. You have to be just a little bit careful when you fold this. Now I'm going to place the paper so it's the right way round, so this is the inside, and then the outside score lines will be folded back towards the front. And I'll burnish them as I fold them with my bone folder. Now I'll turn it over so I'm looking at the inside again, and I'm just going to gently form the other two folds, like so. Now you want to make sure that the two pieces meet in the middle. Okay, so get them meeting all the way down and then hold it in place while you burnish the side edges. If you don't do it this way, then you could well find that your front join, if you like, overlaps instead of meets, which isn't so good. Now I'm going to add the two triangles that I cut off earlier to the inside at the bottom. I'll fold them on the score line first of all and then burnish them, then I can add glue and position them. Here is the art gallery stamp set, and this is a two-step stamp set, which means there are multiple stamps making up one full image. I'm using the two flower heads, the stem and the happy birthday sentiment. The coloured inks I'm using are Cherry Cobbler for the flower head, Granny Apple Green for the leaves and stem, and Memento Tuxedo Black for the sentiment. I'll be doing a little embossing on the flower, so I'll need Versamark ink, and I'm also using gold embossing powder. The inside mat where you'll write your message is normal weight basic white card, and I'm going to stamp a flower at the bottom right corner of this. So I'm inking up my flower stamp using Cherry Cobbler, and I'll stamp it down. Now I'm not going to emboss this yet, I'm going to wait till the ink is completely dry. I need another flower head for the front of my card, so I've got some scrap basic white and I'm going to stamp another flower on it. And again, I'll leave this until it's completely dry. The stem and the leaves will be in Granny Apple Green, and then my sentiment is going to be stamped onto another scrap of basic white in Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I'm using my embossing buddy over the two flower heads to remove any static, and then using the second flower stamp I can ink up with Versamark, stamp it over my first image, and then cover with gold embossing powder. And as an alternative, you could use gilding flakes. You get a very similar look. It's just quicker to use the powder. I can then melt the powder using my heat tool. All the stamped elements will be die cut using the coordinating floral gallery dies, and there are outline dies for the flower and the stem and the leaves, and then there's also a little banner for the sentiment. The black mat was die cut using one of the Tasteful Labels dies, and it's this one. So I now have my card base. I have my inside mat where you write your message, and I'm going to layer that onto a pool party mat, and then I have the elements I've just created. Now I've added dimensionals to the base of the flower head and also the sentiment strip, but not right at the ends. And that's my card complete. It's very pretty. I love these papers. Now then, if you use A4 as your standard card size, I think your envelopes are, or our envelopes are C6, I think they're called. Now this card will comfortably fit into a C6 envelope. However, if you use 8.5 inch by 11 inch card as your standard, I think your envelopes are C2 size, and this card will not fit into a C2 envelope. Now, if you want it to, all you need to do is adjust the height to 5.5 inches instead of 6 inches. Okay, so your paper will start off as 12 inches by 5.5 inches. You still need to mark it at the halfway point on the side edge, so that will be 2 3/4 inches. You would also need to adjust the size of the inside mats. Alternatively, you could make a box. Now, I already have a video for a box that will hold a 6 inch by 4 inch card, and if you're interested in seeing it, I'll leave a link at the top right of the screen under the eye. Here's another look at my original card. The colour I used for the flower heads was Melon Mambo this time. Everything else was the same. And I have one more sample to show you. I love this black gingham. The colour I used for the flower heads this time was crushed curry. And I also changed the placement of the sentiment, so you can play around with the layout on these cards. If you want to place the sentiment here, then make sure you don't add dimensionals to the right half of it. And there we have my 3 samples. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye for now.